gone for a while because I have been studying the mother of harlots, the great whore. And I just felt like I really wanted to, just know a lot about her. I wanted to know the workings of her and just exactly what Father says about her, because for the end times, I know she's been around forever, but from the perspective that it's an empire, and that she is the opposite of the bride of Christ. And my life, as much as I possibly can, is to take on the nature and the life and to dwell as the bride of Christ, as a daughter, as a part of the bride of Christ. And so the great whore is, I wanted to know the opposite. I wanted to know, who is this enemy of God? Anyway, so I was studying Proverbs 7 about her, and I decided to just really dig into that. So I wanted to share that with you guys. I might have to do it in two because it's a little bit long, but I think it's really worth it because there's just so much insight into her. And when we get insight into her, we get insight into what's going on in the world and what is going to happen, just her motives, her workings, what she does. Anyway, so in Proverbs 7, it's King Solomon, and he is talking and warning his son Rehoboam, who, by the way, got a really bad rap, but that's for a whole other day. I wrote a book called The Verifiable Legend of the Tribe of Benjamin, which I'm still in the process. I've written it, so I'm just going over it, and anyway, so we're going to get into all that. All that is to come. Anyway, well, so Rehoboam, King Solomon is warning Rehoboam, his son, about this harlot, this strange woman. And anyway, so Solomon tells his son, look, get wisdom, grab her, and make her your sister. Make wisdom your sister. Don't let her go. She is your family. She is what you are from. Make wisdom your sister, and make understanding your kinsman, your intimate friend. Get to know, walk hand in hand with understanding, because they will keep you from the paths, the working, the life, the purpose of the great whore. So what is the great whore? So in Hebrew, the great whore means to cause to commit fornication. It means to be a harlot or to play the harlot. So if for some reason you are caused, something happens in your life where you find yourself being forced or feeling forced to play the harlot, you have become a whore. You have made yourself a whore. So be careful. Be careful. Because the enemy will try to get you to do that. Anyway, the root of the word whore in the Hebrew means to tip over. It means to spill out or to pour out. Figuratively, the root of the word whore means to depopulate. That is the working and the motives of the great whore. Her name also, the word whore, means to imprison or to conquer or to cause one to lay down in a lower level of living. so that you are unable to rise up into the heights and the stature of Christ through the spirit of wisdom and understanding. Okay, it also means to travel, to be a traveler or a wanderer. Well, we know that. We know who the wanderer is. We know that that is Cain. It is the great whore is manufactured, created by her father or her creator, who is Cain, who when Cain and Abel were in the field, Cain was jealous of his brother and then murdered him. And when he became a murderer, he was kicked out into the land of Nod, outside of the presence of God, where he had a son named Enoch. And Enoch is not our Enoch. It's not the Enoch that walked and talked with God and was no more. No, it is Enoch, the son of Cain. And when Cain had Enoch, he built a whole city. He created this whore called, through his son, Enoch. And it means conversation. And it means doctrine. It means a way of life, a path of life. Look, it means, look, in Proverbs 30:20, it says, such is the way. It's a way of life. Such is a way along a road, a way, because of, by conversation, a custom, eastward. Eastward. God was in Eden. He built his garden eastward of Eden. Then they were kicked out of the garden and they went into the field, which went eastward. And when Cain killed Abel, he was kicked out of the field into the land of Nod, eastward. So going, such is the way of the adulteress, of the whore, which is eastward, to journey, a road as trodden, a course of life, or a mode of action. And the root is of that is to tread or to march, which means to march is one move after the other. One continuous move after the other. One foot up, go. Here we go. As an army for a purpose. That is the whore. That is her, who she is, her purpose, her action. Okay, so King Solomon tells his son Rehoboam, son, listen to me carefully. Make wisdom your sister and understanding your intimate friend to keep you from her paths. The whore. It's a horrible word, but God uses it because he does not want us to think less of her than who she is. She is a whore. She is perverse. She is a hidden one. She hides her work. She hides herself. And he's telling him, warning his son about her. And so he says in verse 5 that they may keep thee from the strange woman. Take wisdom and understanding that they may keep you from the strange woman, another woman, a stranger, the other woman, not the bride of Christ, the other strange woman, the bride of Satan. The other woman, there's always been other women in the Bible. It cause a lot of trouble. Very few of them. Very few of them. And I know Jesus came through a lot of the other women. But he had to redeem. That's why Deborah, when she saw him, and the mother of Israel, and she saw him, and she said, he came out of Edom. And in Isaiah, it says he comes out of Edom. Of course he did. Came as the Son of God, became the Son of Man. He had to come out of Edom. He had to take on the flesh. He had to take on the nature of man, the nature of the whore. He had to redeem it. And that's the first thing he did. After he was baptized by John in the Jordan, he went into the desert of Judea to redeem it. Anyway. Okay. So this strange woman, this other woman, she flattereth with her mouth, with her words. And flattery is when someone starts telling you how great you are, or who you should be, or what you could do, or what they could do for you. Aren't you wonderful? And they do that because they want to gain favor. They want to gain influence over you or in your life. They want to gain favor or influence in your life for a specific purpose that they want to achieve through you. That's what she does. Verse 6 says, King Solomon is saying, "For at the window of my house I looked through my casement." Well, I thought that was a strange word, casement, so I looked it up. I looked into it. And it's not, it is a window, but it's a lattice. And it's not just any old lattice window. It's those old-fashioned kind, you know, that just went in the hole, and it has like little holes. It's like, and they made them designs, and they're little holes that the breeze, the wind, the breeze of the day could come through. In the cool of the day, the wind of the Spirit, the breeze of the Spirit could come through. So here is King Solomon, spirit of wisdom, spirit of understanding, showing King Solomon through the casement of his window, through the lattice of his window, and through the wind of the Spirit, through the eyes of the Spirit. King Solomon is seeing this great whore, this mother of harlots, this adulterous woman. He's seeing her through the Spirit. He's given understanding through wisdom and understanding through the Spirit. So it's so important. Okay. Okay. And he says to his son, through the Spirit, through seeing in the Spirit, I am seeing this. I'm seeing this scenario. You need to beware, which Rehoboam, you know, for a long time heeded his father's word, but ended up falling into it eventually. But anyway, he says, I beheld among the simple ones, those of a weak intellect, not wise or discerning, but of moderate understanding or attainments, or they're foolish or silly ones. He says, I saw a simple one, a simple man, a simple boy. And he says, passing through the street near her corner. Well, corner is not just a corner. Corner is her covering. Passing through the street near her covering, near her tower, near her pinnacle. So he's passing over the height of who she is, the covering of who she is. She's no longer hidden. He's passing through there. And the root of this corner, the root of the word corner means to turn him in a different direction from the straight road of which he is supposed to travel. So that corner is a turning corner. It is also means an angle. That corner is an angle, a perspective, that she will turn him through her perspective, through her conversation, through her teaching, through her doctrine. She will turn him, his perspective, into her perspective through her doctrine, through her teaching. That turning also means a compass, a direction. a compass. So the harlot, the great mother of harlots, the great whore, stands on her compass, on her corner, to get men through her conversation to turn from the direction that they are going to go into her direction. And he went her way. He went the way of the path to her house. So now he's gone into her house. In the twilight, in the dusk, when the evening breeze prevails, when the spirit of darkness comes upon him and starts to prevail on him, through him, in his intellect, in his mind. In the evening means to grow dark. When the light of his understanding becomes darkened, and in the black to be dim, he becomes dim. The light starts to go out within him. And the dark night, and the night means to twist, to distort away from the light completely. Figuratively, it means adversity, the night, and turn you into great adversity. Okay, verse 10 says, "And behold, when he turned in the night on his way to her house, and he turned, and behold, there met him," there they met. He comes in contact with her. There he met a woman, a strange woman, with the attire of a harlot. Now this attire is the adornment of the world. She's made up to look beautiful. She's got on all her makeup, and she's got on all her jewels, and she looks glamorous, and she's adorned with mansions and yachts and Bentleys or whatever car of your great choice is, with the fame of this world, to be famous, to be great. Elitism. She is adorned with all the lust of the flesh and the pride of life. She is dressed with the attire of the world, the great whore, the kingdom of this world. Okay. With the attire of a harlot, and she is subtle. That subtle means craftiness of heart. The root is thin. So it's not like, if you're in the kingdom of God a lot, you're deep in the kingdom of God, and you meet with something like that, you go, I can't even stand up. I remember one time I walked in this manager's house, and he had a huge statue behind a veil, and I peeked by. I was like, what's behind this veil? And I looked, and it was a huge statue, a demon that he was worshiping. And I literally was like, the ceiling felt like it was on my head, and I just couldn't even stay in there. And anyway, you feel it if you're really seeking the Lord. But most, the simple ones, they don't. I don't mean simple literally, but weak in intellect, not wise or discerning, that are not walking with the spirit of wisdom and understanding. They don't feel it. It's a thin air, a subtle vapor that you're allured with. Verse 11 says, she is loud. King Solomon is telling his son, she's loud. There's a party going on. There is a football game that we're cheering And there is a concert with music that is going to entice you and make you drunk with her. It's loud music. It's concert. She is loud and stubborn, and her feet do not abide in her house. She's stubborn, that she is a rebellious, revolting person or character. Her feet will not abide in her house, and her house is a court. It is a place to obtain children, to build. Okay, verse 12 says, now she is without, but look at her, son, because she is without. She is a failure. She is ignorant. She is corruption. She is destruction. She is nothing. The root of that word without means to become old or to wear out. Okay. Now in the streets, in the broad place, she's in the streets in the broad place because the Lord said, narrow is the way that leads to life, and few there find it. And broad is the road that leads to destruction or to hell. And many find that way. Many go that way. Well, her way is broad. She's in the broad streets, and lieth in wait at every corner. So eventually, the whore, the old whore, or the new created whore, the new whore that gets, shall we say, she gets a makeover. So they start tearing down some of, like, remaking her. She's getting a makeover. So the new whore, the end time whore, is on every street corner. So on every street corner, we're going to find, everywhere we go, her angle, her trying to give us her perspective, to control our minds with her compass, her angle. It will literally come to the point where everywhere we look, we will see the symbols of the whore, if not already. If your eyes are open, you see it. You see it. You see the compass. You see the V's. You see all the symbolism of her corner. Her corner, her covering, her pinnacle, her doctrine, her literally her her mode of, it's over here, I'm going to say it exactly, because her course of life or her mode of action is literally on every, lieth in wait at every corner. You won't be able to escape her. That's where she stands, on every corner, on every compass. Verse 13, so she caught, meaning to bind, to fasten upon, to restrain, to conquer, through a constant, to be constant. It's a constant teaching. It's a constant doctrine. It's a constant, continual, year after year, day after day, through the media, through books, through now the churches can teach you the doctrine of Enoch, the Enochian doctrine, constant, continual. The Brown Driver Briggs says it this way: of the physical strength of her hands, of a people, an army, or of royal power, through the sound of a trumpet. To the sound of a trumpet. She caught him and kissed him. She kissed him means to arm him with her armory, to rule over him. The root of that word means to catch him on fire, so he burns with lust for her. So he burns with desire for the things of this world, to have and to behold the things of this world, to have and behold the bride of Satan, the great whore, to become one with her. She kisses him. And so she has turned him, a simple young man that is on his road, the path that leads to life. And he's passing down the streets, and he comes to her corner, to her angle, to her covering, and she leads him. She leads him now down her path into her house. Okay, I'm going to stop right here for part 2, and then I'll just continue on. I'm going to have to do part 2 because it's long, and I got to check my battery. Anyway, okay, until part 2, because you've got to see where this goes, because it's really intense, and we need to know this stuff. I'm almost done, but anyway, okay, until next time. Bye-bye.